Hello, today we are going to be making Black Girl Magic. Yes, you heard it right. We're going to be making Black Girl Magic. Not mine, not mine, but we are going to be making this super cute Black Girl Magic. This little figurine is what we're going to be making today in this little online tutorial. She is so adorable. Little Black Girl Magic. And she is complete in her denim ensemble. So get ready, buckle up, and get ready to make this Black Girl Magic. And if you have not clicked the subscribe button, please go ahead and click the subscribe or like the video. The subscribers count, every last one of you. It allows me to keep making videos like this, which I love. So please click the subscribe and like the video, and you can even comment and I'll reply to your comment. Anyway, time to make some Black Girl Magic. Okay, so hi, I'm going to try to walk you through making this figurine. I have already made the frame for it, made it out of wire and floral tape, and we just put it in a little styrofoam so it can have a little bit more stability. But this is the frame we're going to use to make the figurine. I will probably do another video of how to put that frame together. Just to save time in this one though, I'm going to just go with the frame that I already made. So this is the frame we're going to use to make her. I'm also going to be using the Saracino modeling paste, or pasta model. It's an Italian product, but it is gum paste. And when I say gum paste, it is probably by far the best gum paste you will use. Now I have used several different brands of gum paste to make figurines, flowers, I mean, you name it, I've made it, and I've made it from all different brands of gum paste. But when I tell you the Saracino brand is by far the best, I mean it is the best. So what it is they put cocoa butter in their gum paste to keep it pliable. That means that you can get more details in it. It has more flexibility. It has more, it holds better. If you need to make something very quickly and on the go, you know, you're in a little rush, but you need a figure, you can probably get it done with the Saracino paste. Other gum paste, not so much. Yeah, been there, done that. You need something, somebody calls at the last minute, you got to make something really quick. You try to put a little Tylose in something and try to make it work as best you can by putting wire in it, whatever. Yeah, been there, done that. Unfortunately. But with the Saracino gum paste, it will set and hold its shape because of that cocoa butter. And that's why a lot of people are starting to pick up on it. I mean, you know, we've been sleeping on these Italian products, but yeah, no, not no more. So anyway, I have the Saracino modeling paste available in my online store, and the website for the online store is catscakespm.com, catscakespm.com. You can go to my website, and in my online store, I have the Saracino modeling paste, the Saracino fondant, and the Saracino flower paste. And there are differences between them. If you decorate, you pretty much can figure it out, but For those who are new to decorating, I will just tell you that the pasta madel, or the modeling paste, is what we use to make figurines, some flowers, and some other things that need to harden and set. So that's probably the most popular product, and especially if you do a lot of models and cake toppers. The fondant is what we use to cover cakes. You can use it to make models. You just have to leave them longer to dry, and you probably have to add some CMC powder or Tylose to it to make it set or harden up faster, and to give it a little bit more pliability so it doesn't stretch and break. But the Saracino fondant does have a lot more flexibility to it than most fondants, so you may not even need that. But if you want something to dry quick, you're going to have to use the Tylose if you use the fondant. And the Saracino floral paste is what we use to make flowers. It rolls out really thin but sets very firm, and you can make some beautiful, gorgeous flowers with it. So I have all of those available in my online store. Again, it's catscakespm.com. I have a bunch of colors in the modeling paste. I have the brown, white, light green or lime green, yellow, orange, red, green, Tiffany blue, light pink, light blue, and the rose beige. The rose beige is the color that they consider skin color. If you're making a figurine with fair skin, then you would use the rose beige. Otherwise, you'll have to mix colors. But they do have the rose beige, and I have it in the 1 kilogram, and which is like 2.2 pounds in pounds. I know we use pounds here in the US. I have the rose beige and I have the white in the kilogram, and I have all the colors in the 250 grams, which is about a half a pound. And then I have all of those colors in the fondant too as well. The floral paste just comes in white, and then you have to tint it or dust it after you're done making your flowers. Anyway, that I do have, and I just wanted to make you aware of it. If you go to catscakespm.com, you can go to the Shop Saracino Dolce page and purchase your modeling paste and fondant and floral paste, and that's what we're using for the figure today. And again, guys, you will not be disappointed. Now, one thing I do want to tell you about the gum paste, it comes hard. Like, it comes hard. People get it and people freak out because it looks like a candy bar. Like, this is the brown. It looks, you can hear me tapping on it on the board. It comes hard as a rock. And people think, oh, it's old. Something's wrong with mine, because they're used to using the other gum paste. You open it up, it's soft. You just go ahead and use it. It's soft and pliable. This is not going to be that way because, again, it has the cocoa butter in it. And the cocoa butter, when cocoa butter is cool, it's solid. And that's why this is this way. It's solid. But if you break it up into little pieces, look. If you break it up into these little pieces, look at that. Warm hands. You just mash the little pieces together, and eventually you end up with soft, pliable gum paste that you can use to make anything. Look, I can already roll that into a ball. So it doesn't take much, but heat from your hands. If you have warm hands like me, what is it? Warm hands, cold heart, cold hands, warm heart, or whatever the old adage is. I don't know what it is. I know I have warm hands. I know if you decorate, you know that if you have warm hands and you use buttercream, it's a hot mess half the time. I have to pop it in the fridge half the time just to keep from melting it. And people with cool hands don't have a problem with that. And so fortunately for me, this works for me because, I mean, I don't have to do much, and it's soft because I've warmed up the cocoa butter, and now I have a soft, pliable product within seconds. If you have cold hands, this may take you a little bit longer. Breaking the little pieces up, rolling them around, and smashing them together, and kneading the paste until it becomes pliable. But it will become pliable, so don't panic if you get a block of Saracino modeling paste and it becomes and you tap it and you hear how hard it is. Do not freak out. It will be soft. All you have to do is break it up into little pieces and start to knead it. If you do have cold hands, like I said, it may take you a little bit longer, but you can pop it into the microwave for about 10 seconds. And if you pop it into the microwave for about 10 seconds, it will soften it up for you. Do not do longer than that, or you will have a puddle. You will melt your modeling paste. But then you can always just let it cool down and roll it back together. But but you don't want to do that. So about 10 seconds or so, or do 8 seconds and then do 8 seconds more if you need to. And just get it a little bit softer so that you can knead it, and then you'll be fine. Now, for this figurine, I had the brown, like I said. I want a little bit lighter texture. Tone. So I mixed the brown and the rose beige. Now I could have just mixed it with white, but it would have just gave me a lighter brown, and I wanted to keep the warm tone, so I just mixed it with the rose beige, and I ended up with a lighter color. As you can see, it's a little lighter than the brown. I just mixed rose beige into it and kneaded it together, and so now I have the color I really wanted to use for my figure. And I'm gonna break off what I need. Since I've kneaded it into this nice ball, I'm gonna just take a knife and cut off what I think I need right now, and I'm gonna set aside in a little plastic bag what I'm not gonna be using right now, just to keep it from getting solid again. All right, so now like I said, I've got my frame. I'm gonna take a little piece of this gum paste, and I'm gonna start to form what will be her abdomen, her body. Let's see if I can get in a better position. I'm gonna try to get I'm gonna try to form this into what'll be her body and her abdomen. So I just take it, get a little bit of water. And these water pens are awesome. If you don't have a water pen, you can use a brush and a glass of water, a cup of water, or whatever. You want to wet the area that you're going to apply the gum paste to. So having this little water pen just keeps me from having to have a glass of water on the table, on the countertop, and knocking it over on camera, because that's probably what would happen if I had it out here. So when you're recording, just know that I'm up under the camera recording, and so that makes my area a little bit tight and makes it a little bit harder to work, but we're gonna try to get it done. So anyway, just after you put water on there, you just apply the gum paste. To whatever area you want it in. And I'm trying to make sure that I get all the areas. And we're not even really trying to worry about making it super smooth yet, but we will smooth it out some. I'm going to piece underneath. And this will become, like I said, her abdomen and body. A little fishy, which won't really be seen, but we're gonna put it on there anyway. And you can see that it doesn't take a whole lot to smooth out any imperfections that you create when you're adding. And that's what I mean about how easy it is to use. And I just keep adding until I'm satisfied with what I have going on. But I make sure that I cover the area above the arms and all of not bad. And just rub out any parts that I don't like. And I'm going to try to bring it in just a little bit at the waist. And then I just do enough at the neck to make sure that she has one, if that makes sense. And I usually take, which is one of my favorite tools. This thing is called a cat tongue. It's a tool made by Cerart. Cerart makes brushes and all kinds of artist tools. Another Italian company, but they make this tool. It's called the cat tongue, and it smooths out your fondant. You can use it to make models. You can use it to paint with. You can do a lot of things with it, but you can see that I blended out that seam where I just laid that gum paste in, and you can't tell that there was a seam there anymore. It smooths out lumps, bumps, all kinds of stuff. You can use it to make grooves. You can use it to, I use it to smooth because it's brilliant. And I do have these for sale in my shop as well. But it is probably one of my most used tools. I think as when you first get into decorating, you watch people online all the time, and I feel like every tool that they are using in their videos, I rushed out and I bought. I have tools I don't even use anymore. Um, but that being said, there are some that I use all the time. And I guess as a decorator, you learn what works for you. But there are some tools that I use all the time, and there are some tools that I never use that I purchased back when I was starting. And I mean, I've got hundreds of dollars worth of stuff that, you accumulate over time. But again, this one to me is well worth it because of what it does. And if you're going to build models, you're going to be trying to smooth areas you blend all the time, and this tool will do it for you. It does the work so you don't have to, and that's what I like about it. But again, a lot of this doesn't even have to be smoothed out because we're not even going to see it. You're not going to see it at all because of clothes. But I try to get things as smooth as I possibly can anyway, even though I know that there will be some areas that you won't even see. But anything that looks like it's thin, or any place where it looks like it's thin or needs a little bit more, I just go ahead and add it in, and then I just smooth it on out. And I'll keep doing that until I feel comfortable that I have a decent shape or figure to use for the body of this figurine. And so far, it looks really good. So I'm happy with it. And especially since I know that a lot of this will be covered. But again, using that tool, I was able to smooth out where I just put that and it comes in two different sizes. So this is a little one. Let me say that because there are two different sizes, and this is the large one. You can see that the tips are small. One tip is smaller than the other one. This one helps get like little details and little cracks and little crevices, and this one for bigger areas, clearly. But it's called a cat's tongue. If you needed me to repeat it again, I will put links in the description for the video for all of the tools that I use and the modeling paste, everything that I use. I will put links in the description. Okay. So I have what I deem to be a very nice body for her. I've got her upper abdomen and chest area, and then her lower abdomen and bottom. Okay. Okay. So now we're gonna try. I've pulled some uh, light blue gum paste. I'm gonna put her legs on and try to do her jeans. Um, I'm gonna try. Need this just a little bit more. Just start looking at putting on, like I said, putting on her jeans. So we're gonna just roll a log. Don't want her legs to be too big because her body's small. I think that's good. Okay. So we're gonna take this out and we're gonna apply some water. And we're gonna try to slide these on. And we can always straighten them out later. Right now, we're just trying to get them on. And you're gonna see how we're going to fix. Oops. The hole. Oh, they're on my hands. And we're gonna do a bit of just get that up. And then we'll add the whole crotch part. I mean the crotch and the um and roll some out. And that's plenty. Cut that there. Put some water on the body. I'm going to try to lay that straight edge at the top where I think about where I think her waist should be at. And then we're going to cut this right at the seam. And lay that one over. And cut it right at the seam. And then we're just going to blend those two together. I clearly got water on the body and on the gum paste, but we'll just blend that out. It's not a big deal. And we're going to cut some of that excess off at the bottom. And that way, when we start to blend, we won't even see the line. And I'm sorry, I'm all off camera blending. Okay, unfortunately, the battery cut out on me, so I continued to work thinking that I was recording, and unfortunately I was not. But all I did, if you can see, is I finished smoothing out those jeans, and I put a couple creases, like for lines for wrinkles in the pants. I put a line up the butt and a couple creases there where I was going to have that leg kicked off at. And now I just rolled the piece flat. I'm going to make a couple pockets for the back of the jeans. So I'm just cutting little squares, and I'm going to cut the little corners off so they'll be more pocket-like. And you can use your Exact over this. And I just had this in my hand, so I was like, okay, that'll work. And they may be too big, but let me see. So you want to make something and then size it. So when I just cut these out, I want to make sure they're not too big to be pockets. And maybe just a teeny bit smaller. So I'm going to just trim them up just a little bit. You don't want her to have super huge pockets. Line these back up. A lot of times if you're making two of something, it's just easier to make them side by side so that you're making the same size. And so I'm just probably holding my breath. And I'm going to cut it a little bit crooked. And sometimes when I'm working on something, I do find myself holding my breath. So then I end up panting. Hopefully I'm not doing it now. But anyway, I think these will work out better. So we're going to place those on. And put the second one on. A little bit of water. Again, with my warm hands, not working out as easy as it would have if my hands weren't warm, because they're causing everything to stick. But here's the thing, because I have my little smoother here, I can fix the edge of that. And voila, she's got back pockets. Now we're gonna go in and we're gonna make those a little smoother by with the little wheel. And we're gonna do some stitching lines. So I do have two different tracing wheels, but I have the PME one, and I brought it out so I could show you. So the PME one, I have these in my shop. Yes, I'm plugging my shop, but I have these in my shop. The PME one has the stitching wheel, the flat line, and it also has a little zigzag line wheel all in one roller. So if you get this, you have all three wheels, and it has it's a little bit heavier. So for me, I have a little bit more control when I'm working, so it just makes it easier for me to do what I need to do. But anyway, gonna do a little stitching line down the side, do one on this side, and also right next to that seam. And then I'm going to try to do a little bit of one on the edge of this pocket. Get the general idea that it's stitched. It just gives it a little bit more detail. We're going to do one right up the front. And that way when you dust it, the dust color will pick up the line and it'll look really good. And actually going to do a second one. Side. And there we go. Okay, I rolled out a little bit of white. And I rolled out a little bit of baby pink. And I am cutting, squaring off the white. Let's try to straighten it up a little bit. I don't need that big of a piece. So now I got a piece for the front and a piece for the back. And I'm going to hold this weight because I'm going to use it for this. Probably give her some sneakers or sandals or something. I'm not sure. But I know I want to do a little strip of pink on her shirt. So we're gonna add that on there. And then we'll square it back up again. The idea is to try to thin it out in the area where they join the two colors together so that it won't be thicker, because you want it to look like one piece. And I'll square these back off again. And I'm gonna cut out a little notch for her. Neck. And anytime I use a claw cutter, I try to smooth out where I just cut it so it's not jaggedy, janky looking. And we'll put some water. And then we'll just place that. And hold on the shoulders. And now just a little piece for the back, because we're just gonna meet up in the back with the front. And I just line up the two sides and just roll it up. And that way you know you're where you need to be at. And then I'll just take my little knife. Probably use my X-Acto this time. And we're gonna just trim where these two go together. And because I know that there's gonna be a jacket, over top of this, I'm not gonna stress too much over it. I think I'm gonna put a little jacket on. A little denim jacket. I think it'll be cute. At least that's what I'm gonna go for. Like I said, I would be more careful about lining everything up if I weren't thinking about doing this jacket. But because I'm thinking about doing this jacket, I am literally just cutting wherever something needs to be cut, like taking out the excess and just running and cut. We'll cut the other corner same way. Lay this over the top. Get rid of the extra. And then just lay that to meet it and cut off any extra here. And there we go. And now she's got a little crop top on. We'll do a little jacket. That's what I'm thinking anyway. And then I'm probably do a little pink belt. If we do a little pink belt, then we can go ahead and put the little belt loops on her jeans. And belt loops are easy enough. We're just gonna roll some little blue, more blue. Really, really skinny. And just lay it where it needs to go. Trim it off. Put one right there, and we'll put one right there. Okay, I'm gonna clean off some of this mess on the counter, and then we'll make our jacket and our shoes. Okay, I rolled out some more blue so I can cut out the jacket. So for the jacket, I'm going to cut again. I'm going to go ahead and square this off. That's perfect. So gotta get a little square here going. What I'm gonna do is cut it in half, rectangle anyway. Cut it in half so I have the two sides for the front. And then I'm going to I'm going to trim it just a little bit rounded in the corner, because when it starts to go back over the shoulder, that's where it's going to be bent, so we want to leave it open there. So I'm going to a little water. We want to leave it open like that. And just put the water on the side. And again, want to leave it open. And pull it over just a little bit. And once you have it placed where you want to place it out, or where you think it will work for what look you're going for, then we're going to go ahead and trim it. I'm going to make sure it meets at the side. And I'm going to go ahead and raise up these arms so I can get that all the way on the side, since we're not really going to have anything else there. And go ahead and cut that. And then you can bring that back down. And then that will help so you can cut this collar, this sleeve, up here at the top, shoulder. And then gonna do the same thing on this side. Move around to the side. Cut it at the side. And then cut it at the shoulder. And then for the back, I'm gonna go ahead and cut a rounded neckline. And I'm gonna go ahead and lay that up there. A second measure. All right. Line it up with the sides. Make sure you're not pushing in. And then open that back up. And can cut that shoulder off. And I'm not even as stressed about that because I think I'm going to give the jacket a little hood and she's going to have hair. That's going to go over the back. So basically, I just want as seamless as I can get it and to keep the sides open, the jacket open at the bottom. All right. Now she can get some sleeves, and then we'll do a little bit of decor to the front of the jacket to make it a little bit more snazzy. But right now, let's give her some sleeves. So I'm just gonna roll out another log. Cut off the corners. And I try to do things, like I said, if I'm making two of them, I try to put them side by side so we get the same thing on both sides. And it kind of helps you measure your pieces to make sure that they're even. And I don't think she needs them quite that long, so let's go there. And then we're gonna cut them at an angle so that they can go onto the jacket. And then we'll do some adjusting. Okay, so I put on the arms and I finished a little detailing on the jacket. So now I'm gonna dust it with a little dusting powder to try and get a little bit of the details to pop a little bit. I was trying to debate what colors to use. I think I'm gonna use a little bit of like a periwinkle, a little bit of the periwinkle, and always do this over paper towel so you don't get dust everywhere. And I want to go ahead and do it now before I add like the shoes and stuff, because I don't want them to get any of the dust on them, because I think I'm going to do white. So I try to use colors that will enhance what I've already done. So just looking at the color of her jacket and her jeans, I'm just going to try to add a little bit of, so you see it's not going to do a whole lot, but it will add some highlights and some shadowing. And like I said, the goal is to do it before you put the white on. And see, I got a little bit on her belt, so I'm gonna have to clean that off before because you don't want it to stain and be something that you gotta try to layer out. But I usually go in with like a darker color, just because it adds a little bit more dimension. And so I'm just gonna add this and see how it enhances the stitching. And any of the little marks that I've made, or dents, that grooves that I've put in there, it will enhance those as well. So that's why I put them in. Let's see, that looks really good. I'm trying to be careful with my hands here so I don't get any of the blue anywhere I don't really want it, but still get it in all the detail areas. So I'm trying to get those details on the pocket and up that seam. And you can see how easy it is to end up all over the place. I'm getting it all over my hands, which I will have to wash my hands before I do anything else with this. But that looks great. I want you to do the sleeves. So like I said, just in the grooves, anywhere you have grooves, anywhere you have lines that you want to really show up, go in and add the color. But I really do try to clean my brush or shake some of that powder loose before I put it on the figure, because anything that's loose is going to end up everywhere. And while we want to add color, we really do want to be strategic about where we add it, and that we don't get it on the other parts of the garment. And so I just use it, like I said, in the cracks, any lines, any grooves. Again, see how heavy that was? And that's what you don't want. But again, she's gonna have some hair, so it will cover a lot of that up. But you can always come back with the light and try to blend it out. I think that looks really good. It gives some definition to the garment, which is what you want, and just add some more tone. And I think now they look more like blue jeans too. Like, so it's not like she just has blue pants on. It's more denim-y. And I did get a little bit on her belt, but that's an easy remedy. We're going to take care of that. But first, I'm going to clean my hands, and I'm going to come right back. Okay, so I decided to go with the pink instead. I didn't like how the blue was coming out on there, so I changed the collar to pink. The same principle, just rolled a piece out and laid it up around the collar. Plus I wanted to be able to show you the fur tool, which is really cool. So this is a wire Kemper. It's what everybody's been using to do fur or any kind of fur textures, like for stuffed animals or animals, period. They're using the wire Kemper tool. Now we have the Cerart version available in our shop at catscakespm.com, so you can pick one of these Cerart ones up. But basically all you do is apply pressure. There's these little wires, and when you use them on the gum paste, it creates a fur-like texture and gives the impression that it's fur or fur-like fabric. Oh, I don't know how many people are really using fur anymore, but I wanted this to have kind of a fleece, the appearance of fleece, since it's a jacket. But I'm going to keep pushing that back because I want that to stay open. And you see it gives it, I don't know how well that's going to come out on camera, but you can see that it gives it a texture. And then if you dust that like we did with the blue, you will see that texture come to life even a little bit more than it even has. So I'm going to dust it in just a second, but right now just trying to get the fur or fleece or whatever you want to call it on here. One thing I can tell you about the dust is that if you dust something, it's hard to get stuff to adhere to it after you dust with the colors. So but again, she's got plenty of hair that's gonna go on. So really, I am mostly concerned with the front and making sure it's textured. So she's got like a fleecy, furry hoodie. And I like the pink way better than I like the baby blue that I was going to use. So that's much better in my opinion. Anyway, then I'm going to take this and the Dresden tool, add a few grooves. Just so that we know that that's a hood. Alright, and now I'm going to create a little ruffle for the bottom of the jacket, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put her arms on so we know where we are with that. And then we'll put her shoes on, I think, after that. But arms first. So let's do arms. Getting that same brown. As you can see, it darkened up in her tummy and her neck because this is the brown that we were using, but you can see that it does get darker. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knead it just a teeny bit. And then I'm going to roll out a log for her arms. And you want to make these pretty thin because her arms are not going to be thick and bulky. She's going to have very skinny arms. If you look at the rest of her body, if you want them to be in proportion. Plus we have part of the arm already in the sleeve. So I'm going to work with this. Because we're just doing forearm and hands. I think that's plenty. Side by side, so we get the same amount. And we're gonna flatten out. If you roll the log between your fingers to thin out at the wrist, and then flatten so we can get ready to do the hand. Same thing on this one. We're gonna roll it between our fingers at the wrist to thin it out even more, and then flatten, and that's gonna become our hands. And we're gonna get our blade. I'm gonna cut in and up and remove the triangle. And the opposite on this one. So in and up and remove the triangle. And then for you have 4 fingers. And I'm gonna spread them out just a teeny bit. Okay, I have added the face and the head. I've modeled the face and added it to the figurine. I will do a separate video on how I model the face and how I do the eyes and all that. I will do a separate video on that. It takes a while to do, but I did want to go ahead and add it right now. I've added some additional pieces of wire to the frame, and that's going to be to support the shoes, and that's what I'm going to do right now. And then we'll get some hair on her. I've got some black modeling paste, and we're going to use that for her hair. But first, let's get her shoes. So all I'm going to do is knead this white. Because it's just been sitting since I did the shirt and the eyes. So we need to knead it a little bit. And then we're going to break off a little ball. 2 little balls. And gonna kind of roll them into balls, and then we'll so got 2 little balls. I think that I probably have too much here, so let's just add that to that. Can't hold on to it. And I'm gonna just cut the ball in half. And remember I said about getting things equal and even and the same size. So if I make one ball and cut it in half, I have 2 pieces exactly alike. And I'm going to roll one more time and then roll it into like a little piece of a little jelly bean almost. And that gives me 2 shoes. Now, you know, in a shoe, one curves a little bit out one way, and then the other one curves a little bit out the other way. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to flatten them out just a little bit. And I think those will work. We'll try with the one that's been sitting for a minute. Open that up. Slide it all the way back and close it around the wire. There we go. And let's do the second one. Slide it all the way back. And then we're going to push her down, her wires down. So she's standing on her shoes, and so it can dry. And if you, like me, and you get a little color on your shoe, you can easily get that off with a little bit of alcohol and a Q-tip, and that's vodka, clear alcohol, like vodka. And now we'll get some that doesn't have blue on it. And we're going to do the little band around the bottom of the shoe to make it look more like a tennis shoe. Do that by just rolling out some strips. And then I have a little roller. I don't even know where I got this from. You know, that's what I was talking about how you get tools and you keep them for years and you don't know where you got them from. You don't even know what the purpose for them was. I believe this was a tool that broke, and so I was like, well, I can still use the pattern. So you just simply just roll it, and you get that little impression. And now I'm gonna take my blade and I'm gonna cut some strips. First I'm gonna even it out, but I'm gonna cut some strips to become the bands at the bottom of the shoe. So, And I'm just gonna trim them so that they're even on the ends. So when I put them around where they meet, I don't have to struggle to match stuff up. Cut off the raw ends first. And then got my water pen. I'm gonna just wet the bottom, going around the shoe. That should be good. And now I'm gonna just take this strip and I'm gonna try to keep the front in as part of where there's no seam, just so that you always want your prettiest parts to be what you see. So I'm going to do just that. And around the bottom of her shoe, back around to the back. And now do the other one. And I'm doing it flush with the styrofoam so that it's at the very bottom of the shoe, so that if you do move it to put it on something else, you will automatically have the tread at the bottom. I just, whenever I see anything that doesn't look filled in, I'm gonna go ahead and add gum paste. That's just the very back of the shoe, filling in a little hole where I joined that split. And now she's got tinnies. I'm gonna go a little bit further, and I'm going to add the little, just a little impression on the top where it would be the tongue and the shoestrings. And I will probably add a little bit of lace work, just rolling out little pieces of white. And that will give us a little hangover shoelace. And we'll put a little piece across that so it'll look like she's laced up right there and there. Exacto. And then we'll push that down. And a little lace in the second one. Just little detail stuff. That's all that is. You can take your Dresden tool and poke holes so it looks like that's where the laces went in. And now she's got her sneaks on. Okay, now we're gonna do hair. We gotta give her some ears. We gotta give her some hair. And I don't want her to have any gray streaks. So what we're gonna do is get these little pieces of white up off the board. I think. Okay. So for the hair, like I said, I got some black gum paste, and I'm going to roll it out. Guess I'm just gonna get a nice strip. And that's probably plenty to start with. Pizza cutter works wonders for cutting longer lines. So we'll cut that, put that to the side. And then we're just gonna cut some strips. And we're gonna use the blade. And we're just gonna cut lines in these strips. And then all we're gonna do is twist them. And it's actually easier to me if I take a toothpick and I just wind it just like a curler, and then just slide the curl off the toothpick, leave it in place. And we're going to do that for all of these pieces, and I'm probably going to end up cutting more too. Cut that little piece off. Just see, if you wind the toothpick like a roller, you get these little curls. And that's your goal. And you're just going to do that with every piece. And I'm going to do the rest of these, and then I'm going to come back. Okay, so what I've done so far is I had added a piece of black modeling paste to the back of her head, just to cover up any places where you might be able to see through the curls, so that you won't be able to see through them. And I added 2 of the curly strips, so the little curly strips, I added 2 of them, one at the bottom and one here. And now I'm going to put her ears on so I know how far that I need to take her hair. So ears are fairly simple. You roll it 2 little balls, roll it 2 little balls, and you put your water where you want the ears to go. So I'm gonna say we're gonna go right here on the side. They should be between, like, just a little bit below the eye line, but out to the side. So I'm gonna put one right here and one right here. And then I'm gonna get my little ball tool and press in. And just lift up, adjust however you feel like you want your ears to look. And then once you get the ears where you want them at, try to make sure they're even. I'm always trying to make sure they're even. Once you get the ears where you want them at, then you can continue adding hair. A little bit of water here, and a little bit of water here. And I'm gonna add my little curly strips to the side. And the one on this side. And then we'll put another one in the back. Gonna go up a level, one more level here. And then, yeah, put our side ones on. And get one more right here. And we're gonna adjust her curls. And then we just need to get one more on this side. And then we'll start putting little individual pieces in. So we'll go ahead and curl this one, and curl this last piece. It's interesting, those wands that you use to curl your hair with. We didn't have those when I was growing up. We had the Marcel irons, on the Marcel irons, you know, the ones you stick in the stove, heating element, you put them on your gas burner or whatever, and heat them up, and then click, 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 and turn, click, 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 and turn until you have spiral curls. My mom used to spend hours putting spiral curls in my ponytails when I was growing up, and I remember her being terrified that she was going to burn me with those curling irons, because she would put them in the fire and then straight to my hair. It's funny, she knew exactly how long they had to sit in the fire before they had to come out. But that didn't keep her from having that little piece of paper towel that she would test it on. And then straight to the hair. And curl, curl, click, 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 curl. Anyway, done with that last spiral piece. So we're going to put that on this side. And then I'm going to get my Dresden tool, and we're going to make a little bit more definition in that part. And then we're going to make some hairlines up here on that flat part that we just laid down. Hope you can see this. All I'm doing is taking a Dresden tool and making hairlines. So that and lifting it up just a little bit. Any place that got compacted. Make sure our hair is nice and full. And then I'm going to give her a little lift in the front. Just adjusting curls so that before they dry, so we have them where we want them at. And I think she's absolutely adorable. But anyway, I'm gonna put a couple more little finishing touches on her, and I'll come back and let you see how it finished, how I finished it up.